Cash flowing is nearly impossible in 2024. So I want to go over the 3 different strategies you can take each rental property down to maximize cash flow. The 3 strategies are long-term, short-term, and mid-term. I'm going to introduce them, then I'm going to go over the pros and cons. So long-term rental property investing is probably what you think of when you think of rental property investing. It is getting a rental property and then renting it out on 12 or 24-month leases. The pros of that is you are owning shelter that most people will want to live in. Most people either own a home or rent a home. So there's a huge demand. Another pro is the tenant base is usually pretty good because they're living there and they're going to treat it like their home. Some cons are cash flow can be pretty low. If interest rates are high, your cash flow is going to be low because it's going to cost you more money to own it. The next strategy is the short-term strategy. This is what you probably know as VRBOs or Airbnbs. These are houses or properties that you rent out on a nightly or weekly basis. The biggest pro of short-term rentals is the cash flow is very, very high because you're renting them out on a nightly or weekly basis. You're able to maximize that cash flow. One of the cons are it costs you extra money to implement this strategy because you're going to have to buy furniture, and usually $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of furniture. Another con is regulations. They are tightening up the regulations for short-term rentals and they are trying to squeeze this out of a lot of cities. The last con is maintenance. When people stay in a short-term rental, they're usually there with their family or on vacation. They are usually putting more people in the house than they say they are, and they are living their heart and having fun for a weekend and then peacing out. And the third option, and my personal favorite in today's high interest rate environment, is mid-term rentals. This is where you're renting out your property on a mid or medium term basis. It's usually 30, 60, 90-day rentals, and you're running them out to traveling nurses, digital nomads, people like that need to rent it for just a few months. One of the biggest pros is low supply. There are not enough of these out here. You may think that there's not that many people that need this service, but you're wrong. The supply is so low. The demand is super high. This is like short-term rentals 20 years ago. Another pro is positive cash flow. The cash flow is not quite like short-term rentals, but it's pretty close. You usually get double or triple what you would on a long-term basis. Another pro is that government regulations that kind of hurt us on the short-term rental route. Governments are trying to pull back short-term rentals, and usually what they will do is they will say you cannot rent for less than 30 days. Well, pretty much all midterm leases are 30 days or more. So every city that is cutting down on short-term rentals, you can do midterm rentals in. Another pro is the tenant base. People that are traveling like this, traveling nurses and corporate leases and people like that, those people are usually working and just coming home and sleeping. They do take care of your property. They're not partying there every single weekend, and they're not living there full time. They're there for a short time and they're working most of that. And honestly, I do not see a con to midterm rentals. That's why I'm going so hard and heavy in them in 2024. So if you want to learn more about these 3 strategies, especially midterm rentals, follow me.